Welcome back to today's Loose Women, live from London town. Now, in a new pilot scheme to be launched in Oxfordshire in July, secondary school girls will be able to ask for the morning after pill from their school nurses via a text message. The new initiative is being trialled in an attempt to halt the spiralling rise of pregnancies amongst girls aged 18 and under. Also announced today are proposals by the Broadcast Committee of Advertising Practice, which will allow organisations to advertise abortion services on TV and radio in an attempt to give people greater access to information on sexual health. But are these proposals giving the green light to more promiscuity in the UK?
I don't think they are giving the green light to promiscuity. I think to open a forum for children to talk about something that's very much a part of their lives is important. So I have a 9-year-old daughter, and I know that she knows about sex, and I know that because I've explained a lot of stuff to her, and I think that kids know a lot more at a younger age now.
You said there that open a forum for children to talk about something that's very much part of their lives. Should sex be part of a 9-year-old's life?
I don't think they should necessarily be actively partaking in sex, but there are children that are. I mean, that's why we have this problem. I think to give them somebody that they can turn to, a nurse that they can text, who can talk to. Presumably they're not going to dish out contraceptive pills willy-nilly. They're going to give them some form of counselling so that they can talk about, you know, the responsibility of having a sexual relationship, because that's a very grown-up thing to undertake. And I think, you know, kids don't necessarily go to their parents to talk about these things and don't necessarily want to. So rather they have somewhere else to go than nowhere at all, and then they end up becoming pregnant, having a child, which changes your life forever, just because you may have made a mistake because of lack of information or lack of education.
I don't agree either that it encourages promiscuity. What I think it says, I think it's wholly wrong for the simple reason that it does say to young girls, don't worry if you get pregnant, because you can just have an abortion or you can have the morning after pill. And, you know, I just
think it says
no, it does. I think it does say that. And I tell you what, over the last 10 years, the rate has gone up and up and up. And this government has always placed right from the beginning, we're going to get teenage pregnancies down. And they haven't. So whatever it is that they've done to try and stop teenage pregnancy, it hasn't worked. Now, it might be too much information. It might be too sex education too early. You know, it might be the fact that they give these pills out willy-nilly and make it more available and too much information. I don't know what that problem is, but what I think they should be spending money not on adverts and not allowing abortion clinics to be able to sort of ply their wares, but they should be trying to stop the problem happening in the first place.
I don't think it's actual abortion clinics. I think they're just saying
no, I know,
that
it's a government advisory
to
say this is where you can go to get an abortion, but it does. It basically says don't worry if you get pregnant, because we can sort it out.
It's not down to the government, is it? It's down to us as parents to make sure that our children are equipped with the necessary... I mean, if they can have someone at school that can back up the information, it's not just down to the government. We need to make sure that they have the information
how does it help
beforehand and after. I mean, I think there's a lot of sense in the fact that they should maybe provide some kind of group within the school that can communicate with the children so it doesn't get that far. But we've all made mistakes. I mean, you know, I've been lucky in my life. And because I wasn't educated properly about what happens if you touch a boy in a certain place and all the rest of it. Kids need to know as much as they can so that they can make choices, and a lot of them are a lot more adult today than we were.
And the problem is, a lot of kids don't have parents to give them advice. They don't come from those sort of homes. Some of the kids see having a baby is going to get them out of the life that they're in, and is that somehow going to make them happier. And they're under some terrible illusion. This is where the money should go, in the advice. And you know, whether it's a pill or whatever, no, it's in the schools, there should be advice for these kids so they can go somewhere one-to-one on their own, not be embarrassed. They've got nowhere else to go except kids at the back of the bike shed, like we all used to have, which is useless, which I had, and I knew nothing about sex in that sense. But if there's somebody at school and some kind of initiative from the government that there's a body at school you can go to, it's secretive, you can say what you're feeling, you can tell everybody what's wrong, something that you might have already done, and somebody can say, this is the way we're going to help you.
I know somebody that didn't have the information necessary, and she got pregnant at the age of 16 because she was on the pill. Her school gave her the pill, but unfortunately she didn't have enough information to tell her that when she took antibiotics, which happened to her, it cancelled out the pill, and she got pregnant. Now, that has changed her life forever, and she's a fantastic mum, but she wouldn't necessarily have made that choice.
Of course. And Sherrie, as well, you mentioned counselling in schools. You said the word that it's secretive. Maybe discreet is perhaps a better way to put it. Because,
whatever you want to call it.
Because, you know, it's all very well, I think, for, say, government initiatives to tick a box, say, right, we've had sex education, to have a group of 30 kids, and some of them very, very young, to sit and have somebody standing in front of them telling them the ins and outs of what happens, I think is quite daunting. But to be able to talk one-to-one to someone in a discreet way, without their friends joshing, especially boys, you know, joshing and making jokes about it all, has to be a good thing. Not necessarily too much information just thrown at them, but a little bit of guidance.
I think pastoral care in schools, generally speaking, should be improved.
Definitely, definitely. Now, our first guest today was famously one-third of TV's Naughtiest Neighbours, alongside Pauline Quirk and Leslie Joseph on hit comedy Birds of a Feather. But are the rumours true that the original Loose Ladies of Chigwell are to make a return to our screens? And what a welcome return that would be.
You're supposed to be flogging sandwiches, not putting yourself on offer.
Selling is 90% presentation.
And that's about 90% of your Frockneys you're presenting there.
Just a little point of sale enticement. Sharon not back from court yet?
No. I was looking at this crab and lemongrass you've bought. It's going to look a bit insipid in a sandwich. Shall I bung some daddy sauce on it?
No, I have very carefully selected my fillings to ensure that I capture the right calibre of customer. Cheese and chutney brigade I'll leave to British Rail.
Please welcome Linda Robson.
Haven't changed a bit. It's really depressing seeing yourself like 10 years ago.
Oh, you look exactly the same, all three of you.
I'll get out of it. Dear, oh dear.
What was that 10 years ago?
Probably about 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago. 10 years ago that we finished making it, so it could have been a little bit longer. 20 years ago that we started it.
OK, and these rumours, any truth?
Maybe. There's like little discussions going on. Please God, fingers crossed.
But how would you go back? Because your husbands are still in jail, I assume.
Oh, leave them there, yeah.
Yeah,
we
leave
bought that for a
them
while.
there.
No one liked it when they was out. The audience didn't like it. They liked the three women in the kitchen, sitting around the table, talking. That's what they loved.
You used to visit the prison, though, didn't you?
Yes,
Meet them
yes,
and see
now
them.
and again.
Yeah.
5 minutes every episode we gave the boys.
But they were the original Loose Women, really, weren't they? The
I suppose
three of
we
you.
were, really, weren't we? I
You know, you chatted about stuff.
We finished and you lot started. Taking over our jobs.
Dorian was certainly the loosest of them.
She was, weren't she?
Great characters.
If I had a pound for every time someone asked me for her phone number, I'd be a rich woman, I'll tell you.
I think she is one of the greatest comic characters.
She really is,
Ever written, yeah.
Fantastic.
So you could do all the plastic surgery stories then, couldn't you? That's where Dorian would be every week.
Oh, Dorian, not us two. We haven't changed a bit, we don't need it, do we?
Dorian would always have bandages all over her. She'd always have something.
So she was the first one that had all them nails. Remember all the nails?
She did.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
We used to have to pull her tights up for her. She ruined more pair of tights, I know, with them blooming nails.
We mentioned surgery. How is Pauline? Because she's had
she's
hip
all right,
replacement.
touch wood. Yeah, she's fine. Yeah, painful, and it takes a while, I think, to get back to normal. That's if you ever do get back to normal.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You know you're old when your friends start having hip replacements.
I know, that's what I said to her. I said to her the other day, we're getting so old now.
I've got a friend who's got one.
I thought you said you had hip replacement.
When your friends start having them.
So what have you been up to? You're working, or you've
I've
done
been doing
work
the
on a new
vagina
film.
monologues.
Have you?
I've
Okay.
done a little short film. I'm doing another little short film about gospel singing with Misha Paris and Rudolph Walker, and that's the end of April. I'm doing that.
Doing any more grumpy women?
They're actually going out on tour. I've just been asked to do the new tour, but I've decided not to.
Why is that?
Just, it's like, it's one night as everywhere, and it's like, it goes right the way up until Christmas.
With
13th of
Jenny
December.
Eclair.
Jenny Eclair, and they've got 2 new grumpy old women now. So.
Did you enjoy being part of that?
I absolutely loved it. I really, really did. And it was really hard to say no and, you know, to let go and someone else take over your part.
Yeah. But you can do anything. You do, like, all the funny stuff. The last time I saw you, you had a knife at somebody's throat in custody
in
at
the
Sun
bill.
Hill.
I was a crackhead, weren't I? I know, I held them hostage at Sun Hill, didn't I? I absolutely loved that.
Yeah, you did it all in, like, 1 or 2 takes as
That's
well.
right, I had to go in.
With it.
I didn't need any makeup. You know when you think you're going to get in there, they're going to make you look really rough, and they said, no, you're fine as you are. Just let me roots grow out a little bit. That was about it, really.
You must be you're quite grumpy at the moment because you're having to squat in your mate's house, aren't you?
Well, not my mate's house. We've had to rent somewhere in Islington.
Oh, you've rented a place?
Yeah.
So you've got none of your stuff?
None of my stuff. I had a scarf and a necklace this morning. I've had the same clothes on for about a week. I just wash them out and put in the radiator every day.